1 second. Lion King is the new 2019 remake of the original Lion King that came out back in 1994. This is kind of like a live action remake of sorts. I say live action with air quotes because it is live action, like it looks like it's live action, but it's really more of like CGI and computer generated. Like it's still like a cartoon. It's just a real looking cartoon. So I guess you could still call it live action if you want. Simba is played by Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, aka This Is America. Nala is played by Beyonce. Timon and Pumbaa are played by Seth Rogen and Simon Eichner, I think is his name. Scar is played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, and obviously James Earl Jones is still back to voice Mufasa, but he's like the only guy they brought back. I feel like there's no real point to summing up the plot of this movie because, again, Lion King, everyone should know that it's pretty much Hamlet with a pack of lions. Simba just can't wait to be king, and then his father gets murdered, and then he has to run away, then he has to grow up, and Hakuna Matata, and then, you know this story. You get where it's coming from. I shouldn't have to sum this shit up. A lot of times when I review a movie like this, where it's a remake, or if it's like a reboot or a different version of something that was beloved and classic and timeless that came before it, a lot of times there's a temptation to compare the two and to talk about the two entities and, put them up against each other. I'm the type of guy that likes to avoid that type of shit. I don't like doing that. However, for the purposes of this review, I have to. It's physically impossible. I tried to shoot this video and not mention the original 1994 Lion King, but you just can't. The thing is pretty much a shot-for-shot remake, and they went with a lot of the story beats that the original had, a lot of the songs, so it's hard to not compare them when they're trying to be compared like that. Still, a lot of people are gonna pop up in the comment section, or they're gonna be talking about this video, and they're gonna be like,
oh my god, why can't you just talk about Lion King in 2019 without mentioning Lion King in 1994? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Can't you talk about this movie without talking about the old one?
No, I can't. And I'm not going to. Suck a dick. This movie does visually look pretty damn good. I mean, you kind of knew it would be eggs on a tit, right? Everything from the landscapes to the animals themselves. The CGI here is seamless. It's gorgeous. It looks really, really good. You knew it would. It's a Disney movie, dude. It's like somebody walking up to me and saying, damn, I bet Nicki Minaj has to work a little bit harder to get some jeans on. It's like, yeah, no shit. Visually, this movie has a lot of things going for it. I'll also say from a voice actor standpoint, I thought that Timon and Pumbaa were the standouts. Obviously, they were the comic relief in the original 1994 Lion King, so it makes sense that they were the funny ones here. Maybe it was just the way they delivered their dialogue, or maybe it was just the fact that these are the two actors that felt like they were kind of improvising some of their dialogue a little bit. I don't know what it was, but Timon and Pumbaa made the movie watchable. And the music, I mean, there's some of the music is it's on point. There's some good music here. It's hit or miss. I mean, there's some good moments and there's some bad moments. I feel like now is the time to tell you that I really did not see much of a point with this movie, like at all. That's just kind of how I feel. Yes, I'm going to compare it to the 94 Lion King, but that doesn't mean that it had to be better than that movie to be a good movie. Get the tough position that the filmmakers are in this case, because on one hand, they have to do a movie that honors the original, and so in that case, it kind of has to be a shot-for-shot remake. You want to make sure that this movie has its own identity, its own image, right? To me, after watching this movie felt like it was built in the image of a Disney dollar bill. Like, that's exactly what this movie feels like. I don't want to use the word cash grab, but there's got to be another way for it. Like maybe money vice grip or something. Maybe there's another phrase that I'm not thinking of that would describe this movie, but it definitely feels sort of like that. Not even that they kept the movie shot for shot and made it kind of like a dull, soulless, kind of lifeless imitation of the 94 movie, which, okay, fine, you can deal with that. And some of the little stuff they did try to take away or add to the movie, it kind of made the movie worse in my opinion. It didn't really help. Like some of the character changes, some of the dialogue changes, or you just kind of like, why? I think that kids who go to see this movie because they didn't get a chance to watch Lion King growing up and this is their Lion King, I'm very happy for those kids, and I hope these kids enjoy this movie. I hope they love this movie. But in terms of just an observer of this movie, I won't say that it's cheeks, but it's lion ass or lioness, lion ass. I don't know. I did that unintentionally, by the way. So, yep. copyrighted. Obviously, Beyonce is gonna stand out because Beyonce is Beyonce, you know, Beehive, Queen, all that stuff. But then it's like, okay, well, when you go outside of that, look at what they did to Be Prepared. It's just kind of like, no, why would we do that to Be Prepared? Look at what this movie did to Rafiki. It's like, Rafiki, this is like the greatest stoner baboon I've ever seen in my life. The dude is unrecognizable in this thing. A lot of the emotional scenes from the original in 1994 Lion King is just not present here. And if they are present, they aren't executed at the same high level. And a lot of that is because the movie is trying its absolute best to be photorealistic. It's trying to make these animals look and seem real, and I totally get that. But for this movie, it just kind of looks weird because the animals, these are talking, emoting animals, and we're not able to really see that translated on screen because the director, Jon Favreau, wanted this to look as realistic as possible. Not the same type of emoting, there's not the same type of expression, and it's just, it just disconnected me from the movie overall. Look at the characters and the emotions and some of the scenes from the original that aren't nearly as iconic or even make as much sense as they do in this one. Like, can you feel this dick tonight? Remember that from the original? I know that's not what they actually, come on, that's what they actually meant. This movie, Can You Feel This Dick Tonight, is actually playing in the afternoon. So it's kind of weird to hear, can you feel this dick in this afternoon while the sun is still out? It's just kind of a weird thing for me. The Lion King was a pale imitation of the original, and I am going to put this one in the guilty pleasure rating of this show. In Smallville. Guys, those are my thoughts on The Lion King, so tell me, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Put your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the Superfan Show, and as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.